My name is NonStopAntonio, and today we're going to be talking about Titans Season 4, Episode 9, and honestly, of the last 3 episodes that came out, this one was my favorite. I really like what they did with Gar's character. They actually gave him character development, they turned him into a couple more animals, and they gave us the multiverse. So let's talk about this episode, some of the comic book references, the comic book characters, as well as all the multiverse Easter eggs. Welcome to NonStopAntonio, where I talk about everything nerdy. I love Marvel, DC, and anime, and if you do too, I hope you enjoy this video. You know, last week I said I wasn't really feeling the last 2 episodes. I felt like there were some issues with the pacing and how they dealt with stuff. However, this episode of Titans was absolutely fantastic. They finally developed Gar as a character. They gave him something to go forward. They gave him a purpose, and they did a lot more with him and also turned him into more animals, which is amazing. I've been waiting for that for so freaking long, and I hope it doesn't end here. They introduced the multiverse, and they did so much creative things that I think really worked for the story. And I mean, even though this episode kind of feels out of place compared to the other ones, I think it does set up the Red for the rest of the season and what it means to the Blood cult. The only thing I do wish is that we had more character development earlier in the season and other seasons for Beast Boy, but I'm glad we finally got it. I had a lot of fun watching this episode, and they had a lot of really cool references during it as well. Having Gar go into the Red and meeting Freedom Beast, who's also connected to the Red. And I thought that was a really cool reference they put in there, because they could have probably put in like Vixen or Animal Man, but they chose this character, which I thought was really interesting because he gets his powers when he puts on the mask. And you might be wondering, who is Freedom Beast? Well, he's the South African successor of Bwana Beast. And Bwana Beast is a superhero with the ability to communicate with animals and also merge them together. And in the comics, Bwana Beast is Michael Maxwell. And when retired, he passed the mantle over to Freedom Beast, Dominic Mindoff. And we saw that Bat-Lion hybrid, which was created by Freedom Beast because he also has the same powers when he puts on the helmet. While he's meeting with Gar, they name drop Vixen and Animal Man, 2 other characters who are connected to the Red as well, which I do love those connections. Name dropping Animal Man, which a lot of people wouldn't know. And in the comics, Animal Man is Bernard Baker, who is the protector of the Red. So I think they're changing it up and making Gar the protector of the Red in this, but I think it's still really cool what they did. And his powers are, he's the conduit of the Red, and he can mimic the abilities of animals. And what I like about this episode is that they finally developed Beast Boy a little bit more, where he's learning to stand on his own. Rather than always following everyone, he's learning how to be his own hero, and also learning at the same time that he can do stuff with his friends. He can help save the world. He doesn't have to be alone like Freedom Beast keeps saying he has to. No, he can still fight and save the world with the Titans. I love how they tie back to Niles Calder and the Doom Patrol during this as well, because they say how Green Plague changed Beast Boy, and it wasn't just Niles Calder who did it. Well, it was. And it turns out Niles Calder created the disease, Sakusha, that was what turned Beast Boy into Beast Boy and killed his parents and a bunch of other people. All in his search for immortality, which is exactly what he did with the whole entire Doom Patrol. He did experiments on them to figure out how to make people immortal. And if you've seen Doom Patrol, all those characters are immortal. Well, they were immortal anyways. We still have to figure out what's going on with Doom Patrol when that comes back. And I really like how they used Beast Boy's powers during this, because they finally made him transform into multiple things in one episode. He goes with Freedom Beast to attack the soldiers that have been experimenting on all these animals. And I love it because he goes in, and I was like, why is he fighting just with his fists at first? And then he turns into a gorilla when they all dogpile on top of him. He turns into an eagle, and he turns into a tiger, which I think is awesome because the eagle is a new one, but it's still cool to see him turn into 3 different things. And I so hope that by the end of the season, we see him turn into different animals that we haven't seen before. And I thought it was also very, very dark that we saw Freedom Beast merge a dying chimpanzee with anthrax with another dude. Like, goddamn, it was savage. It all ended up being in the Red anyways, but I thought that was a really cool thing they did. And also then him revealing to Beast Boy that it was all because of Niles Calder, that he got sick and that his parents died. I also like how during this episode, after Freedom Beast gets Gar to drink this serum, he goes and sees Rachel, which is more of, I guess, the Red speaking to him through her and telling him that it's time for him to create his own path. He doesn't have to follow everyone. And then him seeing Jinx. And I'm pretty sure this is the Jinx that died. So they didn't use her costume just for one time. They used it again, and they also teased that she's gonna come back. I'm pretty sure anyways, because she talks about how she's been resurrected before. Because during that scene, she says, it's not my first funeral, and it's not my first resurrection. Life flows backwards and forwards. So I'm really interested to seeing if we are gonna see her again, because I'm pretty sure that's teasing her resurrection. And I love how Freedom Beast is like, Gar, you are the protector of the Red. But he refuses to do it alone, and then we go into the multiverse travels. And I like how when we go into the multiverse stuff, he goes into the Red first, he sees his younger self crying alone at the zoo, and he tells him, you're never gonna be alone again. And it's just really nice moment between Beast Boy and playing his younger self. And I believe that was him truly connecting with the Red. Now it's time for the best freaking part when he goes into the multiverse and we see multiple Earths, which was freaking awesome. I love the way they did it. The coloring, everything looked really cool. And then we see the yellow lightning. Grant Gustin's The Flash, isn't it? Which is just perfect. I love seeing that cameo. And I really wish we could have had a Titans cameo with Earth Prime, but I mean, this is still pretty cool. And I love how the Flash's lightning hits Beast Boy and he flies into another Earth, where we go to Nebraska, Blue Valley, where none other than Stargirl makes her appearance and talks to Beast Boy. So rather than it just being a cameo on like a green screen, like all the other ones were just literally clips taken from shows, this was literally Stargirl, Courtney Whitmore interacting with Beast Boy, which I thought was freaking amazing. Even though it was really short, I still love what they did. And then we have multiverse portals open up, which I think was freaking a cool way to add a bunch of characters in. We see Swamp Thing from his TV show Shazam, which I'm pretty sure it's from the first movie. And then we have Grant Morrison there. And if you don't know who Grant Morrison is, he is a comic book writer for DC Comics who's done some amazing comic books. We also get to see Teen Titans Go, where you see Beast Boy on screen, which I think is just like a little cool reference to an animated universe. Then we had a bunch of voices go off, and I wasn't sure who a bunch of them were. And when I found out, I thought it was really freaking awesome. So we hear Harley Quinn from the Harley Quinn show. Then we hear the Joker, Arthur Fleck, from the Joker movie, played by Joaquin Phoenix. Then we have the Joker from Batman 1989, Jack Napier, played by Jack Nicholson. Then we hear Your Fate is Utterly Binding, who is Dr. Fate from the Smallville show. We hear another voice say, One thing I do know, son, and that is, you are here for a reason, which is Jonathan Kent, Glenn Ford, from the original Superman movie. Then we hear another figure introducing themselves to Gotham City, and that voice is from Cesar Romero, who plays the Joker in the 1966 Batman television series. Then at the very end, Gar gets transported back to the Titans Earth, where his family was. Back in season 1, we met the Doom Patrol, which was Gar's family. And he gets to meet Cyborg for the very first time. That we know of anyways. Everyone has been wanting Beast Boy and Cyborg to finally meet, and they did. This Cyborg is from the Titans Earth, because in Doom Patrol season 4, Cyborg does not have any cybernetics, so this has to be the one from the Titans Earth. And the Doom Patrol we're gonna meet is the same Doom Patrol that's on the Titans Earth, which are probably gonna look exactly the same as the ones on the Doom Patrol show. And I'm really interested to finding out more, because that's how the episode ends, and we're gonna be seeing it next week with whatever's gonna be going on there. I'm assuming Gar is gonna make his way to the Titans, and we're going to see him interact with the Doom Patrol. I really like what they did with this character, because they did a lot more stuff with Beast Boy than they have in the other seasons entirely. And they gave him some time to develop. They introduced the Red, they introduced the multiverse, and they really connected to the DC universe as a whole. They introduced us to the DCEU, a bunch of other Earths, and I really like what they did. Also introducing like Freedom Beast, Animal Man, Vixen, the Doom Patrol. Everything they did was just freaking awesome, and this was easily one of my favorite episodes from this season. I love what they did, and I also love how the title is called Dude, Where's My Gar? A play on Dude, Where's My Car? And I find it funny that it took them 4 seasons to really progress Beast Boy as a character. So what did you think of this episode? Were there any Easter eggs that you noticed that I might have missed? And what did you think of the whole multiverse sequence? Let me know down in the comments. I hope you liked this video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. And we'll be covering Titans weekly until it finishes. I also cover The Flash, Superman and Lois, and Doom Patrol. So if you want to see more DC breakdowns, make sure you stay tuned for all those. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all later.